It's never too late to do the right thing, even if it's the last thing you ever do. The last case.
I'd spent a lifetime fighting battles in the courtroom, arguing for justice, giving my clients a voice they desperately needed. But these days, the real fight wasn't in the courtroom. It was inside me. And it was one I wasn't going to win. Cancer. Stage 4. Terminal. I didn't tell anyone. Not my coworkers, not my friends, if you could even call them that anymore. Over the years, I had lost contact with them until our friendship eventually became thumbs-up emojis on Facebook. While I was spending 12-hour days working, they had moved on with their lives. Marriage, children, vacations, all the things I thought could wait. I was an only child to older parents, both of whom had passed away many years ago, so when I got the news, I couldn't think of one person to tell. That thought froze me. What had I done with my life that I had no one? So, I didn't say anything to anyone. I just kept showing up, day after day, acting like I still had all the time in the world. But I didn't. It was one of those long, cold October nights when I saw her, sitting on the courthouse steps like a ghost. A kid. Hunched over, arms wrapped around her knees, wearing a jacket that was too thin for the chill in the air. She looked like she didn't want to be seen. I started to walk past her, but something called me back. She was too young to be here alone. I turned to talk to her. "You all right?" I asked. She glanced up, defensive. "I'm fine." She wasn't. I could see it all over her. "What's your name?" I asked. She didn't answer. I held my hands up. "Look, I'm just trying to make sure you're okay. It's way too cold to be out here alone." I gestured to the diner by the courthouse. "Do you want to get some food?" She hesitated. She knew better than to talk to a strange man, but her hunger tipped the scales. After a moment, she stood and followed me. We slid into a booth and she wisely said very little. I ordered her meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and corn. She devoured the food in silence. When she finished, I tried again. "What's your name?" As if she felt she owed me for the meal, she muttered, "Nicole." Something about her, maybe the stubbornness in her eyes or the fear behind it, made me press a little more. We talked. Or rather, I asked questions and she gave half answers until the picture began to form. She had run away. Her mother was an alcoholic. Her mother's boyfriend was violent. Nicole had escaped. Her little brother had not. She had been on the streets for 2 days. She was cold, terrified, and out of options. Worse, she had left her brother alone in that house, and the guilt ate at her. She wanted to get a job, save money, and go back for him. I looked at her more closely. 14, maybe. There was no way she could survive on her own. It was a miracle no one had already noticed her for the wrong reasons. My chest tightened. I could not leave her on the street. But I could not take her home either. A young girl and an older man. That was not a line I would cross. Then an idea came to me. I had a suite at an extended stay hotel nearby. I used it when colleagues came in from out of town. It was expensive, but money had stopped meaning much to me. "Nicole, you have no reason to trust me," I said carefully, "but I have a room you can stay in tonight." She gave me a suspicious look. "I won't stay there with you," I added quickly. "It's just somewhere warm. You can lock the door. It's better than being out here." Fear and need won out again. I hated how familiar that calculation felt. I had seen girls like her before. I had walked past them on my way to work and told myself someone else would help. I paid the bill and stood. She hesitated, then followed me out. I decided not to drive. Being trapped in a car with a stranger would terrify her. We walked several blocks through the cold instead. Once the suite was ready, I handed her the key. "You can stay for the month." A month? Her eyes widened. It gives you time to figure out what comes next. I opened the refrigerator. Empty. I'll bring you food tomorrow, I said. She stared at me. Why would you help me? I told her the truth. Because sometimes the right thing is all that's left to do. The next day, I returned with my arms full of groceries, half expecting the room to be empty. She answered the door cautiously and let me in. Her hair was damp, but she wore the same clothes as the day before. Can you cook? I asked. She frowned. Of course. I've been cooking since I could walk. I'll be back, I said. I need to pick up a few things for you. She looked like she wanted to argue, but she nodded instead. Buying women's clothes was a first for me. I guessed at sizes and avoided eye contact with the cashier, feeling ridiculous and vaguely ashamed. When I returned, she had made scrambled eggs, bacon, and toast. She had even set out a plate for me. I did not know why that mattered so much, but it did. We ate quietly until I finally said, "So, Nicole, what's the plan now?" She swallowed. I get a job, I save money, I get an apartment. Then I bring my brother here. I looked at her hopeful face and said nothing about reality. Instead, I asked, "Tell me about your brother." Her face lit up. Michael. He was smart and athletic, only a year younger than her. She said he would go to college someday, maybe become a doctor. After breakfast, I left and went straight to my office. I called a friend in Child Protective Services and told her everything. Where Nicole had been living, who she had left behind, where she was now. There was a long pause on the line. "You know I can't just hand her over to you," she said. "I know," I replied, "but she can't go back, and she can't stay alone." We argued for hours. Policy versus reality. Liability versus a 14-year-old girl sleeping in borrowed clothes. In the end, she sighed. "If I remove her, I can recommend an emergency placement," she said. "Temporary. The court will have to approve it." "With me," I said. "With you," she confirmed, "pending a hearing." "I'll take it." "You'll be under supervision," she added. "Home checks, reports, no shortcuts." "I wouldn't want any." "I'll have to contact the parents," she said. "I know." I closed my eyes. "Can you see if the mother will agree to let the boy leave too? Tell her Nicole is alone here." "You've got to be kidding me." "Please." She hung up, but I knew she would try. Later that day, she called me back. "The boyfriend is in jail. The mother was evicted and is couch surfing. No place for either kid." I waited. "She'll let the brother come," she continued. "Not through removal. Voluntary." I straightened. "Explain." "She'll sign temporary guardianship, power of attorney. She says she can't take care of him right now. No housing, no money. She wants him fed and in school." "And Nicole?" "She agreed to the same paperwork," my friend said. "But if she changes her mind, we're back in court." "When?" "Whenever she feels like it." I closed my eyes. Nothing about this was stable. Nothing about it was permanent. But it was legal. It was documented. And it was enough to bring Michael here without dragging him through the system. I wanted to make sure that everything was in place before I shared with Nicole. My friend let me know where we could pick up Michael. I told Nicole, and she teared up immediately in relief. She ran over to me and hugged me. "I hate myself for leaving him," she said, and her voice cracked just once. "Then let's go get him." Michael wasn't grateful when we showed up. 13, angry, full of spit and fire. He screamed at his sister, accused her of abandoning him. I didn't blame him, but I couldn't let him believe that was all there was to the story. She left because she was scared, I told him. But she came back because she loves you. It took weeks before things started to soften. Michael would slam doors and sulk through dinner. Nicole hovered like a mother and snapped like a sister. I cooked poorly and cleaned worse. But somehow, it started to feel like a family. I showed up early every morning before work and afterwards. I enrolled both of them in online classes because there were no school near the hotel since it was in the middle of downtown. I figured if they came home with me, I'd enroll them at the good school by my house. I froze. I wouldn't be here when school started. All of a sudden, the one thing I had been trying to ignore came rushing forward. I was dying. Maybe not today, but soon. What would happen to Nicole and Michael? I had been putting off final decisions, selling the house, shutting down my practice, telling people. But nothing mattered more than what would happen to the two people I decided to be responsible for. I started stressing. Time was slipping away and I needed a plan. Then came their mother. She showed up at my door on a Sunday morning, shaky and tearful. Claimed she was sober. Said she wanted Michael back. I'd heard that kind of performance before, in court and in life. But Michael hesitated. "Maybe she means it this time," he whispered. Nicole grabbed his arm, eyes wide with fear. "She said that 100 times. She just wants a free place to crash. She must have been tossed out of her current place. She doesn't give a damn about us." "That's not true," Michael fought back. "She loves us." "Kids," I said calmly when they ran out of tears and fight. "What if I can get your mother in rehab?" Michael and Nicole both stared at me. "Could you do that?" Nicole asked. I nodded. "Why are you helping us?" Michael asked through his tears. "You don't even know us." "It's the right thing to do," I said simply. In the end, their mother agreed to a 28-day program. The skeptical side of me thought she agreed to have a bed to sleep in, but if it helped, then it was worth it. I needed a permanent solution for the kids, and Mother Dearest might be my only choice. I also moved them to my home. They couldn't stay in a hotel forever, and I think that I had earned their trust. They walked into my home with their bags and were in awe of the size and decor. That house had been my pride and joy. It was a symbol of my success. I loved seeing it through their eyes. Michael ran to the pool. "Can I use it?" he asked. "Sure." He jumped in fully clothed. Nicole scolded him, but he was having a blast. The next day, Nicole found the medical files I'd hidden. I'd been careless. Or maybe I wanted her to find them. Stage 4. Terminal. Irreversible. When she came into the room, she was shaking. "You're dying?" she choked. "And you didn't tell us?" I looked at her and felt the weight of it all crash down. "You both deserved hope," I said quietly. "Not a countdown." She screamed, hit my chest, then broke down sobbing in my arms. Things changed after that. We didn't talk about it much, but the energy shifted. Nicole stayed close. Michael got more protective. They cooked for me, watched dumb movies with me, sat through my coughing fits without complaint. One afternoon, 2 women came by. The kids came downstairs when they heard the doorbell. I did not get many visitors. "Nicole, Michael," I said, "this is Ms. Marin, my lawyer, and Ms. Kelly from Child Protective Services. We need to talk about what happens if I am no longer here." They sat on the couch, close enough that their shoulders touched. "I've set up a trust," I began. "Everything I have goes into it. My savings, my insurance, the house." Nicole's eyes widened. Michael looked confused. "The house will be sold," I continued. "The money will be used to buy something smaller and practical. Whatever is left will be held for your education and living expenses." Ms. Marin stepped in then, calm and precise. "The trust belongs to you, both of you. A trustee will manage it and make sure the money is used only for your care, schooling, and future. What about our mom? Michael asked quietly. If your mother stays sober, I said, and keeps you safe, she can remain your guardian. The trust will cover housing and basic expenses. She will not control the money. Ms. Kelly folded her hands. There will be oversight. If conditions are not met, Child Protective Services will step back in. Nicole swallowed. What kind of conditions? No drugs or alcohol, I said. No abusive partners, especially not him. If those lines are crossed, the housing support ends and CPS reassesses placement. What happens to us then? Michael asked. Miss Kelly answered gently. We would look at the safest option available at that time. I looked at them both. Nothing about this is perfect, but it gives you stability, and it gives you choices later. Ms. Marin added, Your mother will be told that your assets are protected in trust. She will not be told amounts. She cannot sell the house or borrow against it. The trustee answers only to the court and to you. The room was quiet for a long moment. This means you won't have to start from nothing. Your future will be in your hands. Nicole nodded slowly. Michael wiped his eyes with the palm of his hand. For the next few days, we were a strange little family, broken and patched together. Then, one morning, I just didn't wake up. At the graveside, Nicole held her brother's hand tightly. He saved us, Michael said softly. Nicole nodded, her eyes on the headstone. And now, it's our turn to live.
Thank you for listening. If you love storytelling, follow along for more tales of drama, romance, the supernatural, and suspense. New stories are added regularly. This story was inspired by the song Live Like You Were Dying by Tim McGraw. It is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental.